Samaria strats. That's the one weapon that I feel like has high potential to be very fast, but it's also very safe. Like it's not going to troll the runners too badly because of how low the cost is.
Yeah, so it's a lot easier to control your damage output, so to speak.
And so we are off. Our uncle says, "The moon is crashing. Run for your life!"
As he casually strolls out the door very, very slowly.
Yes. As the Green Guard and Sonic both find 20 rupees. Which is a very fitting thing to find in the first chest. That just makes sense. Our uncle just has a little bit of savings there.
Yeah, it's not unreasonable to keep some cash hanging around the house just in case of emergencies. You never know when you're going to need milk, for example.
Yep. Anyways, on we go. Uncle, what do you have for us today, Uncle?
I'm excited to see what's going to come out of this.
It's not a sword. It is the Cane of Burna.
Non-progression, actually. One of the few non-progression weapons you can get there.
Yeah. The Guard RNG trolling Karterfreak a little bit there. A little surprised that neither runner decided to kill either of the guards trying to look for their first bomb pickup.
Yeah, that's quite an easy place. You have 2 pots there. Just chuck one at a guard. They don't have very many places to run.
And another thing is when you have magic weapons, you can just use your magic weapon to kill the guards because you get a quarter magic refill from the 2 pots.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Maybe they know something we don't.
Perhaps.
And you can see Finalflame there with the 2 pots in the left-hand side of the castle is farming for his bombs.
Very effective kill. First kill by Karterfreak. Missed one swing on Finalflame there, but still keeping the magic usage very low.
Yeah, something the devs have added with the randomized sword or guaranteed weapon is that if you happen to run out of the consumable, if you have a weapon that requires consumable of something, if you run out and you die, you respawn with some more of it, so you're never going to be left without the ability to complete the game, which is very nice of them.
Yeah, it's very correct. It was a change that they made rather than requiring you to restart your save file if you just had a mistake. And the hook shot.
That is value right there. That's a great pickup to find nice and early.
Yeah, that trivializes the escape part where you need to kill anything in escape, because the hook shot will kill all of the creatures in escape. Or in the sewers, I should say.
Yeah, I bet they wish they got bombs now.
Well, bomb's less of an issue now because of the fact that you can just use the hook shot to kill everything.
Exactly, yeah.
He did check the stun prize. Stun prize is a magic pot, interestingly enough.
Finalflame opting to go for pot strats rather than half pot, half blue cane for killing the guard to Zelda cell.
Can't blame him. Especially depending on his full knowledge of what the hook shot can kill or not.
Yeah, he may not be aware that it can kill all of the required items in the sewer. Or enemies. You don't want to kill items, you want to keep them.
Or skip them. One or the other. No killing of items here, though. Just either abandoning them or picking them up.
And then still no sign of a bomb drop for either runner.
Yeah, no bomb drops yet. You're always sort of when you get that early hook shot, you're always sort of almost hoping for the stun prize to be one of the bomb drop possibilities. Finalflame killing the guards again because he's looking for a bomb.
Just being a little more cautious, taking a couple extra chances than just the enemies in the sewers. Yeah. And I agree with that play, actually. Although I'm a very nervous player, I agree with taking as many chances as you can to get a bomb.
It's not as much of an issue when you have this hook shot because of the fact the hook shot does give you so many kill options. As we're going to see right here, as we kill everything, there's the bomb drop.
Okay, I take it all back. That was absolutely the right play. Well done, Karterfreak.
Because between the ropes and then the top right corner of rats in the next room that Karterfreak is about to enter, that you have two sets of prize packs that you can proceed through very quickly. Actually, I'm not sure how prize packs work exactly. I'm not sure if the certain enemies can be tied to the same one, or if all. I don't know enough about the prize packs, basically.
No, I'm not the right man to be telling you any more about them. Interestingly, though, Finalflame has not managed to get a bomb drop so far.
Yeah, no bomb drops yet. Going to be a little annoying that Finalflame's the one that spent the most time making sure that he would have a bomb drop. It's going to be the one that doesn't get one. A sword. Sword in the side room. There was more there too that I didn't quite catch because I was...
It was just cash, 50 rupees and a big 20.
Okay. Which is actually a nice amount of money to see, because that means you'll have all the money you need to do everything in Kakariko.
Yep, I have no problems at all picking up cash before I reach Kakariko. It's afterwards I don't want to see any more of it.
Finalflame is making a decision to not farm further for bombs. A prudent choice, really. You just sort of get going, and if you have to, you might have to come back later, and that sucks, but you just sort of do it.
And that puts him in a slight disadvantage as well, because he doesn't have the 100 rupees required to check Bottle Bender.
Well, and more importantly, the 50 that you need to buy bombs.
Yeah. Maybe we're going to see some farming strats from South to Grove if he has to, but... Or you never know, you could find bombs. I mean, there's a lot of chests that you can reach in Kakariko without having bombs.
Yeah.
You'll see bombs.
I like the play of potentially even going straight for the well, because the well has some rupees in it as well. If you don't find more rupees before then, rupees or bombs.
Yeah, there's lots of options here. I wouldn't declare it a lost
There's
cause.
a bomb. That's a bomb drop. It's a little bit late.
Oh, well, that one bomb can turn into 4 then through the bombable hut in the bottom left
Nope.
Kakariko. Oh, never mind.
Don't need to. Did Carter not check the...
And he skipped that one as well.
Crap.
He mustn't have, because you would get all of those bombs if you could.
Yeah. Interesting.
And the Lumberjack cave there was a 5 bomb upgrade, so we're not need to beat Aghanim for progression that way round. Doesn't rule him out completely, but that's a pleasant enough sign.
Yeah. So interesting. Finalflame, just from picking up that bush crab, is actually going to make up a lot of the time that he's lost just from having bombs already.
And not satisfied with the 8 he already have, he wants more.
Can't blame him. You do want, I believe 9 is what's sort of required to clear most locations that you'll need to worry about for bombs for the seed. Yeah, you definitely want to pick that up, Finalflame. You don't have enough money to be skipping that.
No.
Quiver, piece of, a little bit of love, a little bit more love. A bow,
Oh.
Okay. And, right, no bombs. We can't bomb the back wall, so we'll have to come back. So Karterfreak is going to have to come back to Blind's Hut.
Yeah, not so much. It's not a major inconvenience unless it has something super important, because you're going to be in Kakariko a lot, up at Thieves Town, and the warp portal to the Dark World that's very close there. So it's not, other than really wearing in the back of your mind, it's not that much of an... Oh, he's found bombs in the well anyway.
There's bombs, yep.
So that train of thought was completely worthless.
Well, no, I still mean, like, he still take the time to come back into Blind's Hut, which is not a insignificant amount of time.
And
it's the
get
mushroom.
for his troubles.
That's interesting.
Yeah, what do you make of the early mushroom play? Do you go for it, or do you just leave it there until you can route it in more conveniently?
It
And
depends.
hope that there's nothing important.
I'm definitely not touching it before I finish my South Hyrule check. Not unless I get the flute, then I might consider it. Anyways, Finalflame picking up more bombs and a single arrow. And getting his first heart container from all the love we've got.
That's an amazing pickup there from the bottle vendor.
Yep,
You can swap these 100 rupees
one trade
for these.
And I think it's the second one of those I've seen in the last 24 hours, which is amazing because there's only one 100 rupee drop in the item pool. What a bottle pickup spot as well.
Oh, that's marvelous. That's marvelous. So picking up a bottle enables a sick kid while you're in Kakariko or before you reach it is very, very nice because it's another thing you can cross off the list that takes really no extra time to get because you're already there.
So in the meantime, Finalflame and karterfreak pretty much right on par with each other, except for the fact that Finalflame, of course, had to skip out on the end of sewers. 5 crystal on Eastern Palace, pendant on Tower of Hera, and a regular crystal on Desert Palace.
Yeah, and if these runners are comfortable enough with Dark Rims, which I would think they would be in this tournament, they are able to clear Eastern, if I'm right.
Yeah, if they decide to do Eastern, definitely possible. Carter having a little bit more reason to do so, given that he has the sword as well. Finalflame, of course, not having that sword yet due to not getting a bomb.
Sword. And he'll not be able to get that until he gets a lift upgrade either, is Power Glove.
Well, he can get it whenever he wants, but to get it quickly, he needs the lift upgrade.
Oh, yes. Sorry, my bad. He could go through sewers again, but I mean, are you going to?
Oh, I had to do that in my race, and I'm glad I did it, because it had my progression item there.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. I feel for you.
And in the playback, my opponent got that bomb, so I'm like, oh well. Won the race. That's all that matters. Anyways, getting the south check here.
And interestingly enough, we do actually have Zora money as well. Just throwing that out there. Finalflame is 11 rupees off, but
we'll see if we get this quick hook shot glitch here. We will, but we didn't open the chest.
Oh.
Which was interesting. So when you have the hookshot, you can hookshot to that chest, open it, and then move off to the side to allow you to do this with only entering once. But Finalflame either was just holding a direction and ended up sliding off the mirror.
That is some serious value. Who left that at the bottom of a lake?
They just threw it away. They didn't like the reflection, so they threw it into something else that also shows the reflection.
Well, I mean, I can kind of understand actually not liking your own reflection, but that's a really, really good pickup to have.
Anyways, now, yeah, both runners definitely having Zora money now. So that the fake flippers play having a little bit more value than it often does at this point, because we actually do have the required rupee count.
Yeah, I'm unfortunately not having flippers or moon pearl. Well, obviously you can't fake flipper with real flippers. Why would you even consider it? But you're not able to get the chest in the waterfall fairy, so it's.
I saw that last night too. I saw fake flipper setup with real flipper.
Did you also see that hammer that we just got in Mini Muldown Cave? And the flute!
And the flute.
Oh!
So where do you go now? That's to me, that says go to Tower of Hera right now. Go to Tower of Hera, go to Death Mountain, do those things. karterfreak, however, is going to continue along, probably to Ice Rod Cave here, I imagine.
I mean, at this point, I would nearly be considering an Eastern play because you can get Sahasrahla. There's 3 items in Sahasrahla, and you can clear out a red crystal dungeon that's going to have 3 items as well, isn't it? 3 or 4? 4 items?
3 items. 3 items in Eastern.
3 items. Sorry, senior moment.
But yeah, no, I would definitely put the problem, of course, that Eastern can potentially hold only 1 item in sequence right now. The Death Mountain play has. Let's see. So it has 2 items plus Tower of Hera plus Paradox Cave and Spiral Cave. So 12 items in sequence right now on Death Mountain.
Well, I'm going to cash in his mushroom Finalflame there now that he has the flute activated. Going to see what that is.
As I mentioned, one of the few reasons why you would turn in the mushroom early is by getting the flute.
Nothing exciting though, only a little piece of heart.
Going to Ice Rod Cave. I can't fault him for this check. It's slower than I would like to see, but that being said, Ice Rod Cave has been shown to be one of the highest locations for a progression item with the spoiler logs for V29 in terms of single item locations. So I can't fault anyone for going, yeah, let's just go check Ice Rod Cave like right now.
Yeah, and then at least you don't have it sitting in the back of your mind. And picking up a heart container from that is... I like to see a couple of hearts. I like to get maybe 4 or 5 hearts reasonably early in the game, just so I know I have some kind of buffer. In case I have to go into the Dark World with green armor and do some really, really hard dungeons.
Yeah. Just sort of tracker Jix in there. Do make sure you get the flute on Finalflame. It's not tracked there yet. Karterfreak is going to make the Agnes Cave check here. Also a play that you'll often see a lot of players make early on with when they get the flute, and a location that often gets left till you have desert access. So I can't blame Carter for making this play. It's a nice sort of semi-gamble to make. Half magic we're going to get here very shortly for Finalflame. So with the Moon Pearl, we will be putting Spike Cave into Logic. So Blue Pendant, Gull Woods, Green Pendant, Thieves Town, 5/6 Crystal, and Swamp.
And I missed what was in the Agnes Cave. Did you catch that?
No, I did not. I was too focused on the map check.
I was looking at that as well. Well, it wasn't a lamp.
Always an important thing to know if we found or not. So Karterfreak is going to have to navigate this. It's actually a little treacherous right now. Although, granted, not a huge deal if he does end up taking a death here for any reason. Big 20 in Agnes Cave? Okay, thanks, chat. It's possible. It's possible Carter did forget he has a sword. That's very accurate. I'm not quite sure why he's using hookshot, but, you know, he made it. As long as he doesn't die to... Well, there we go. Very effectively done. For a big 20.
Yeah, it's very easy to forget you have a sword in the early game because so many times you don't. Finalflame there, picking up a beast of heart just while I was talking. Quite often it happens, you're so used to doing a lot of these early game things without a sword that you forget that it's actually a possibility when you have one.
Yeah. In the meantime, we're also going to be forced into... there's a possibility we're going to have to... Actually, do we definitely have to go check the basement? I missed what the... I haven't been keeping enough track of what our items have been in Tower of Harry yet either.
We have got a piece of heart at least.
Okay.
From one of the chests. I didn't catch the other one. I was too busy talking. I should shut my mouth a little bit and watch what's going on so I can tell people as opposed to just being like, what did he get?
Meanwhile, of course, Karterfreak deciding to go into Spectacle Rock to pick up his Pick up the shield. Oh, or he blind jumped it?
I guess so. Well, he ignored the item, so he must have.
Yeah. Maybe he missaw what it was, thought it was something more valuable. Trolldorm's sort of trolling Finalflame here a little bit. Not having the sword, you don't quite have the same level of safety that you often do in this fight. That being said, managed to not fall off.
Always a bonus.
Picks up the good old compass. And so
he
we're going to
either
come
has
back
the
in.
map, or he has to go back, yeah.
But we can't come back in because, well, we could, but we can't get to the item because we don't have a fire source.
Lots of opportunities to rectify that, though, with the remaining East Death Mountain checks.
Interesting that Finalflame decided to go to the bottom instead of go along the top. It's always nice to be able to just check Spiral Cave first. Or at least I really like being able to check Spiral Cave first, personally. When you do have the hammer and can just enter it from the top in the first place, but it's not really going to cost them much.
No, because you're going to have to go up anyway.
Yep.
Is if you check Spiral Cave, you're falling down, so it's... Maybe there is something in it, but I would say the difference would be minimal down to runner's preference.
Pretty much. Also, maybe a little bit of just sort of deciding what routing he was doing and not thinking about what the alternatives were. One of these cases where because we have all the items we need to traverse Death Mountain, aside from Titan Myths for Dark World side of it, you have lots of options on which way you want to go. You're not just quite as... Well, that's the red cane. That's Arcana Samaria.
And the bug catching net, the ever useful item. Not. well, it can be. It can be. It has.
There are much worse items to find than Bugnet.
And there's always the chance for Agaswag.
Yep.
And did I miss the runners picking up the Moon Pearl earlier?
I don't believe so.
Of course you can do Super Bunny Cave without the Moon Pearl. Sorry, I was wondering why you were talking about picking up items there. Another moment. I do apologize.
Although say we can't even get to Super Bunny Cave right now anyways.
Oh yeah, because we have no mitts or gloves.
Yeah, not even the gloves, much less the mitts. Oh, karterfreak taking the 2-floor fall.
Oh, that's painful. As soon as you fall down, you have the double feeling in your stomach. It's like, oh no, I fell down, and then you're like, oh, well, I'm going to fall down again. That sucks.
Well, there's a glove, though. Immediately saving quit. If he goes immediately to the Sanctuary, which he does, I expect that he's doing nothing other than immediately going to basically even up, which will put him probably in advantage over karterfreak at the moment. The one check that karterfreak having done is that sort of the Desert Ledge check and the Agonist Cave.
And karterfreak has to be careful here. He's down to one heart left against Moldorm.
I do believe on Greenmail, Moldorm will do that full damage if he hits you.
And he wants to.
We're going into enraged mode. That's not a huge deal. Could have taken out the Cane of Burna, although I don't think the Cane of Burna works quite as well as the... Well, no, it probably does the same thing the Cape does. Would just negate Moldorm even hitting you in the first place. But...
Yeah, but...
Gets it down.
Thankfully he's able... Sorry! I was just saying, thankfully he's able to clear him up without Moldorm troubling his remaining heart.
Yeah. Anyways, of course, one thing I will mention is with finding the glove, very unlikely to need Aghanim this seed. The only reason we would really need it at this point is if the Moon Pearl happens to be on the Pyramid Ledge. Or a fetch quest item leading to or another item that leads to the Moon Pearl.
Yeah, and you can't rule it out. You know, you gotta be it's just not possible to rule it out. There's
You can't rule
every
it out,
chance.
but I don't think it's a gamble that you're going to see more than 1 in 50 runners take Titan though before they've pretty much full cleared everything else.
Yeah, then a heart container and some cash in the back of Sahashwala's hut. So nothing too exciting. Very, very healthy now. There's 8 hearts is where I'd like to be.
Yeah. Trying to think what other in-logic locations we have left after this Eastern Palace check. There might not be many, if any. Zora is the main one, yeah. Now that we have gloves, Zora is in logic.
Yeah, I can't think of anywhere.
So we have all the locations. So we have the locations before the dark room that are logically available to us, and Zora. But there's the Moon Pearl, so it's irrelevant. That puts lots of things in logic.
Oh yeah.
Finalflame is continuing. We'll see if he is going to do the full clear of this dungeon.
And depending on his confidence with dark rooms, he could actually just head over straight into the Dark World and do pod from here.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, it's a little tricky not having even the fire rod to make the turtle basement room a little easier. But it depending on his confidence levels, it's certainly a possibility. And even if you just stick your nose in, like there's a lot you can find.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility. I wouldn't expect to see it, but it's definitely an option that he has available to him. Having a bit of trouble here. How many are we spawning? We're spawning 3 of them.
Every time I miss one of those pots, my heart always sort of skips a little beat, and you think, are they ever actually going to spawn, or have I crashed the game? And karterfreak looks to be making the Zora play.
Yeah, we could find something here. It's fair. We have no real reason to say there will or won't be. We just know that it's not a 1 in 3 check now. Now it's a 1 in 40 check, or so. I don't even know how many locations were opened up with just that.
And there's his having to use his fairy there for a revival is a safety that he could have would have been useful to keep.
It would have, but it's less of an issue since we have that bug net already. Well, we know we won't have to come all the way up here again, as the ledge just having a big 20. We're not going to be coming back to collect that. Finalflame making very quick order of those dark rooms in Eastern, though. Oh.
And 10 bombs.
Trolling him a little bit. 10 bombs. That's not quite... It's not quite what we want to see. Not at all. But at least it's done.
Yeah, you'll not have to worry about that. Although, once he goes into Eastern Palace and picks up his Moon Pearl, the whole world's going to open up to him, so I don't think it's going to bring him... Or I don't think it's going to bother Finalflame too much that he's not checked it yet.
Yeah.
Do you know, I've never jumped down those pots before. I didn't even realize that was possible.
Yeah, that's it. I think every dungeon actually has a fairy room somewhere in it.
I don't think it even registered that it was possible before.
Yeah.
I've learned something, and that's great.
It's great safety to be able to use when you're in this room and getting bullied. Finalflame might take a death here, or at least a fairy revival. He's gonna just reset the room and gonna go get another fairy.
Yeah, I can understand after taking such a serious beating there, confidence might be a little low.
the setup's not great. Really, the easiest way to do this is just sort of sit along the bottom of the room and fire up until your arrow lodges into the Igor. And then just move up and then shoot the Igor once it...
Yeah, I mean, I think he killed it without too much difficulty. It was the process of getting to the door afterwards.
It's not dead. Fighter sword... Oh, he does have a key. Okay, maybe he doesn't realize that he's... I don't know. Because he's not going to the left, which is where he should be going now that he has that small key.
Yeah, that's confusing. Wonder if he doesn't realize. Of course, something as well that I learned recently about doing dark rooms is that you have to be facing the direction of the door, the locked door, to be able to open it. If you have your sword out.
Well, he needs to pick up the pot too. It's the other thing, and that pot is a little trolly because it's off the edge. You can't pick it up if you're flat against the top wall. You need to be just off the top wall to be able to pick up the pot, so you can get by it. He is going left this time, which is a good sign. I don't see the key having been used yet, though, which is a less good sign. I don't know where he is in the room now.
I wonder if he is having difficulty opening the pot.
Yeah, might be.
And this time is giving karterfreak a chance to catch up, certainly in terms of progression in this dungeon. He's not too far behind now.
Yeah, putting karterfreak sort of back in the... just having sort of advantage overall in knowledge at this point, as well as being about equal grounds. There we go. Finalflame has made it through that room. And we are just going to get the map off Armos Knights, though, so in terms of what we're actually going to get from completing this, the answer is not much of worth. We're going to get a crystal. That's good. We won't have to come back in here again, but that's all we're getting.
Yeah, it is one of the 5-6 crystals, though, which is unlikely to come into play, but you never know. Anything's possible in Randomizer. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, it's true. That ice rod could be there.
Oh, don't. Don't even say it out loud.
Anyways, quick executing the Armos Knights fairly quickly there. It was no quick kill, but it was looked just fine.
Yeah, perfectly serviceable.
Carter not having a lot more fun with this dark room than Finalflame did. Does take the death, and I don't think he picked up another fairy yet.
No, I don't think he did either.
He did not.
That's an understandable play, leaving the dungeon at this stage, because he's probably been tracking the items. He knows that he's only going to get a map, and he's going to have to go to pod as well anyway. So at some point he'll be there in the dark world, and then Eastern's only a mirror away. Maybe he'll have boots, could have more health, might have a lamp. It's not unreasonable to turn around if you're not too confident with that room. Yeah,
well, there's no real reason to do the entire dungeon again now, regardless, because as you said, you have to go to pod at some point. So from the point of view of he's taken the death already, he's already at the back of the start of the dungeon, there's no reason not to just leave. Aside from stubbornness or really banking on the 5-6 crystal being important.
And the only thing of note, really, in Hype Cave there was a red potion for Finalflame. That's a disappointing Hype Cave. Yeah. Lots of cash, some pieces of heart, but nothing game-changing yet.
No. Now, the one thing I will note about the Pyramid Fairy is the Pyramid Fairy almost is in play already. The Flippers being the only thing blocking us from completing Swamp. So it may be of immediate concern that he has not completed Eastern Palace, but we'll only know that once we find the Flippers.
Yeah, once you find the flippers and quite possibly exhaust every other possible item location
I was
because you
about to
really
say
don't want it to be.
I was about to say the flippers could be on the pedestal as well, so that we by no means are saying that the flippers are going to be soon, but we are one item away from having access to the Pyramid Fairy. Oh, and a lamp. That's true for lamp for it being in logic, but the in logic part of it is very minor, and by virtue of the lantern could be anywhere still, anywhere not behind a dark room.
Yeah, which is an awful lot of places at the moment.
That looks too low, but I'm not familiar with the sprite, and it was too low for the bomb jump.
Still looks a bit low there a second time.
Taking the safe play of jumping out the door. Actually, he'll need to take a death here regardless as well, just because he won't survive the next bomb explosion anyways. Gonna pick up this chest first. Probably just death ward back by jumping in a pit. That might soft lock the game, actually. Oh no, it's if you have a fairy that can cause a problem, I think. Never mind, we're fine. The reason why I was concerned there for a moment is that if you do die and as you're falling, like if you are killed at like the same frame that you're at a specific frame as you're falling down a pit and then get revived by a fairy, it will mess things up.
Oh, because you're going to be in the pit.
Yeah, so you just sort of get shoved into somewhere that's not all that helpful.
Yeah, I always thought being able to be hurt while you're falling down a hole was a bit of a cheap shot. And just to say as well there, Finalflame in the digging game picked up, I think it was a 5 arrow upgrade, 5 capacity upgrades. So that was no progression anyway.
Not really an issue, though. Digging games is sort of one of those things you want to get out of the way whenever you sort of can route it in so that you don't have to worry about it when you're trying to do Frog Quest.
Yeah, I always forget he does not like you coming in there with visitors. He only gives you one shovel, so only one person can dig, but he does not like having 2 people in his course at any one time.
Hey Carter, let's see this. Let's see the non-death before we get to this chest. Get a small key. Not quite what I think we were looking for.
No, and then that's all of Skullwoods that's available to these runners at the moment because they don't have fire rods, so they can't go into the back end.
That's true. 10 arrows in the item game, not going to be of much interest. In the brewery here, in the bomb hut, we have 20 rupees. And the C-shaped hut, shall find out momentarily.
Ooh.
Bombos, okay. We're one item closer to potentially... We don't know if we need that item, but at least we've got it.
Yeah, oh, it always feels good to have. I mean, having 2 out of 3 medallions, you're more inclined to take a risk, maybe head down to Mire or the likes, just because you're going to get some items anyway, but then you could definitely, there's a good chance of getting in there.
It also, of course, unlocks Ice Palace once we find flippers as well, which is not exactly what most runners want to hear, because everyone likes to avoid Ice Palace as much as we can until go mode.
Oh, I can't stand Ice Palace.
Another fairy in a bottle.
Oh, it's survivability right there.
And one more dungeon item. And 1 item so far out of Thieves' Town. 2 items out of Thieves' Town. We get a nice bluer Sonic.
Yeah, Blue Mail is a very, very nice pickup. It's sort of with 10 hearts as well in Blue Mail, you're fairly well equipped in the Dark World now. The only thing is they still have a fighter sword, but that's not going to make a difference whenever it comes to beating blind anyway, because all weapons that can damage blind deal the same amount of damage because it just takes 3 hits per head and 3 heads.
Yep. Blind normalizing his damage, always sort of on these interesting little tidbits of knowledge. Thief's Stone, of course, being just this interesting dungeon that you can always complete so early, because as soon as you have Dark World access, you can basically complete this dungeon in most cases.
Yeah, I mean, there's a chance of leaving an item locked in the big key chest, but then there's also a chance of not needing to go in there at all. So it's a good play. And then with having Blue Cane as well, that's a really good item for beating blind if you're not too confident and you're early. If you were earlier in the game and you don't have very many hearts, because that deals damage to him as well, and at the same time renders you completely invulnerable to any of his attacks.
And Cane of Samaria, a nice weapon to learn how to use, especially for newer runners, because it can actually help you do the blind fight very safely if you're not comfortable with what we like to call the script of the fact that blind will always make the same movements if you make the same movements and same attacks. So often something that a lot of people that is just, I found Samaria strats the much easier option, even over most sword strats for the longest time.
I haven't actually witnessed a full Samaria blind fight. I've seen somebody use an item for like the last kill for some swag, but never actually a full Samaria fight.
That's very nice because you can just leave the block on the ground and let blind run into it while just focusing on dodging.
Yeah, I can definitely see the appeal of that if you're not too comfortable getting close. Not that we're expecting either of these runners to have to do that, or certainly to feel that they need to leave blind alone. I think they're going to go in there and just absolutely try and take him down.
Yeah, there shouldn't be too much issue going on here with the blue mail being one of the biggest parts of that. There's been a lot of green mail blind in the tournament I've seen so far. Green mail in like 6 or 7 hearts. This is not that. So we will have to get a check of the big chest before we go on to blind. And it is 3 bombs. Fantastic. Finalflame probably just spiting every bomb pickup he finds this seed.
Yeah, he didn't have luck early on at all. Although he has made some what we now know to be very wise routing choices that sort of almost saved him a bit from having to go back, and even then it didn't really take him too much out. He wasn't too put out without having that sword in the early game, so it didn't really cost him as much as it could have.
Yeah, getting that hook shot early on saved a lot of the potential problems, because Mini Moldorm Cave is one of those few places where you sort of like, I'd like to have something to hit them with other than...
Yes, I know what you mean. Something that's a little bit more controllable.
Yeah. Although, great, I say that as someone who uses bombs on Mini Moldorms, even when I do have Fighter Sword now, because I'm just so confident in my own strats. But it's still much more consistent to be able to just have something that's ammo-less, just walk over there and take them out with it.
Yeah, I do quite like to throw a bomb over the left-hand side where there's 2 of them, whenever I head into Mini Moldorm Cave, if I have to spare bombs, because you have a much higher chance of knocking at least one of them out.
There's our green pendant. Both runners already 2 dungeons towards just pulling the pedestal. I would not be surprised to see a blind pedestal pull the seed if Fire Rod is relatively early on.
No, and then Finalflame is heading up to do what Karterfreak has already done, which is explore and plunder the first half of Skullwoods that's accessible to him. Will not be able to do the back because we know the Fire Rod's not in there.
Yeah.
And then Karterfreak is going on to do the southern half of the world that Finalflame has already done, so we know he's not going to find the fire rod anywhere down there either.
Yeah. Or the flippers, or anything else of interest. Where are some of our next plays to here? There is the sequence break of Ice Palace that's an option, but that being a sequence break is not something that you really...
Yeah,
it's probably shouldn't be on your playlist too quickly.
No, at this stage of the game, I would be very inclined towards Pyramid and Pod.
Yeah, Pyramid and Pod and Catfish, maybe Catfish, depending on which order you like to do things in.
Yeah, personally, I think I would do Catfish later, just on the off chance that I happen to pick up Flippers on the way, and then if I wanted to go there, which I wouldn't, because then I would go to Swamp, but you would have access to the Waterfall fairy chests.
Yeah, so I guess the one exception is if you find the Flippers on the pyramid as you check it, just go do Catfish. Otherwise,
yeah, you're just not going to bother.
But it all comes down to player preference. Some players have been burned by Catfish one too many times to leave it when they're doing their pyramid check. Other players won't check it until it's one of the last locations left available. Geez, Hacksaw's Racing 90, get on the commentary for that. It's probably too late for that, though. Anyways, Finalflame mirroring out, fluting away. We're going to Death Mountain again.
Oh, he mustn't have rescued the old man.
Yeah, he did not. A bit of an interesting play, but that being said, it's always nice to have the old man rescued once you do have the flute, because it gives you that ability to save and quit and get a full health restore whenever you want.
Yeah, and a bit like the mushroom, whenever you have the flute, it's a reasonably quick check to do when you're there, and you can get out then just as quickly.
Also, Finalflame didn't have his sword the first time it was here, which is probably part of why he didn't do it.
My karterfreak did it when he did have a sword, but just didn't use it.
didn't use the sword, yeah. Just for a little bit of a variation.
Yeah, I think we should be awarding swag points through the run, actually, and then we can have a commentator swag total at the end.
Yeah, that sounds valid. And we are getting that pod dip, unsurprising. Well, probably pod dip. He could just be taking this portal to go to the Pyramid Fairy as well. Or to the Pyramid, not the Pyramid Fairy.
With 300 rupees sitting in the pyramid, he wouldn't be too happy if he did.
Yeah. Karterfreak is going for Catfish. He did turn in the mushroom already, I believe, if I remember correctly.
Yes, I think both runners did.
Nice hammer hit. That hammer having an awful hitbox when you're walking up. Especially when you're already hugging a right wall, because the hitbox is also slightly to the left of your sprite.
Yeah, it can be a little tricky if you're at the wrong angle with the hammer.
Turning in the green pendant, very, very studious of Finalflame here. Make sure that he does this as well while he's passing by. Only a big 20 for the trouble, but...
Yeah, but it's smart play. Oh, he's not happy about that, leaving a little present of a bomb for the Tarantula there. But it's a smart play. You're in the area, you go into pod anyway. Costs you 20 seconds. Oh. Catfish is hoarding. Catfish is holding out on us there. So Karterfreak has picked up his ice rod, which I'm sure he'd be relieved to know he's not going to have to go hunting about the world for that. And in the meantime, Finalflame has started his clearance of pod. And really, that pod has to be the only place where karterfreak is considering going at the moment, because it's the highest item density of what's available to him right now. And he finds the lamp. It's in logic. This dungeon is completable by logic, and there's no way he's not going to do that. Great pickup. And I was completely wrong about karterfreak. He's going up and he's doing the graveyard ledge check. At least he's trying to. He's a bit stuck because he can't get into the thing. And it's a little bit harder to get in here when you don't have a lift upgrade. But has found the route.
Okay, I think I'm back.
I was wondering where you went there. You missed. Did you see what happened, or did you miss it?
I caught I caught most of it. I just wasn't talking because I would have sounded like a robot.
That was a great pickups from both runners in completely different locations. Very excited to see that.
Yeah.
And the worry for me for Finalflame is that seeing as he's got the lamp now he's clearing pod, maybe he'll not consider catfish to be such a high priority for a while, and
that would be less.
Could be quite a while before he does that.
It's less of an issue for me until he doesn't do it after Pyramid Fairy. If and when he doesn't do it after, or I keep saying Pyramid Fairy, but Pyramid Check. If and when he does the Pyramid Check, if he does not continue on to catfish, then I'd be concerned about how long will it be until he goes back there.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see.
karterfreak going for, I guess, a Spike Cave check? Not sure there's anything else up here that we can now check other than that.
No, I think you're right. Yeah, because he doesn't have the hammer. That's Finalflame has picked that up in pod. So, or hammer, the lantern.
The lamp, yeah.
Yeah, so he can't pick up the item in Hera basement. So this is the only thing he can be up here for.
It's going to activate the burner early. Not a huge deal when you have half magic, though. It has more than enough juice to get you all the way through here and have plenty left to spare for whatever magic uses you need next. And gets 1 rupee for the trouble.
Oh, totally worth it.
Meanwhile, Finalflame having lots of fun with all the hard hat beetles. Finally gets them all down. Gets another bomb drop just to spite him.
Oh, that per Finalflame.
Well, there was nothing.
He's got the drops. Drops are good, but
nothing was more perfect than him getting that bomb drop immediately on the first enemy he killed after he left escape.
And then he picked up an 8 bomb drop there on the bridge as well.
Yeah. Wasn't quite as poetic if one of the rats after he'd walked up the stairs had dropped it, because he killed 1 or 2 afterwards there too, and you can't go backwards back into there. Finds his big key for pod and another small key, which means he will have to check the harmless hellway. It will have something in there.
Oh,
silver arrows.
Amazing. Well, not amazing. I mean, they're going to be somewhere, but that's very nice to find.
Yeah, especially with Meyer on the docket. I would say that the Vitreous, especially with when we only have Fighter Sword at the moment, you want those ASAP so that you don't have to put out Vitreous just for sake of doing Fighter Sword strats on them.
Yeah, and Vitreous with silver arrows, it's enjoyable in a really sadistic kind of way. It's enjoyable to beat him with silver arrows. It's just so quick.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we do know that there's a 50-50 chance that this item is either an item or the compass.
And it's 20 rupees. So the only thing remaining then in pod then is a crystal from Helmasaur, which Finalflame is going to go and do.
Yeah. Because why wouldn't you go and do it?
I can think of absolutely 0 reasons why you wouldn't.
If you can beat this game as fast as these guys do, when you're here, you just do it because you don't want to come back to pod again.
No way. No, he's like, we shouldn't even be joking about this. They're going to go and both do it. And then karterfreak is going to use the mirror. He's going to clear out Eastern. Oh, I missed Finalflame picking that up. I didn't even realize he picked up the mitts. Oh, he's stacked. They're both these runners are absolutely stacked now.
Yeah, just needing both rods being the main thing we're still looking for. So actually, since now speaking about the Mire play is likely going to be a play that we are going to see right after here. It is possible we see Dark Death Mountain first, or something like the Smith checks. But I would expect we're going to see a play to Misery Mire very, very soon, as well as, of course, which will be paired with checking or starting up Desert Palace and seeing if we require the boots for that or not.
Yeah, and I think the Mire play is a good idea because then you'll know as well if you can even get into it, or if you have to spend time checking Overworld or other dungeons to find Quake.
Yeah.
And that left-handed hammer with the awkward hitbox is causing Finalflame just a little bit of trouble in the turtle room. And the battle with Helmasaur King begins.
Smack him in the face a whole bunch of times. He decided to be a little bit nice. He captured his niceness by shooting fireballs at us, but walking us right up against the wall makes using the sword strat that you use with the sword, which does cause higher knockback from your hammer hits, to not matter so much because instead just get back into the wall and just walk up and hit him again almost immediately.
Yeah, and a single silver arrow to the head sees his final form off.
For, like we said, the compass.
So this is kind of a clutch play here. This is a pretty crucial moment for Finalflame. Is he going to go and do the? I say crucial. It might not be, but it could be potentially crucial moment. Let's get that right. Is he going to go and check Catfish and Pyramid? And it looks like he's not.
No, because as I said, you're going to the Mire area almost definitely here. Yeah, there it is. Gonna check what this ledge item is first. I'm always a little interested in that play by players. I feel like the just checking it from the mirror spot when you're about to go into desert is just as fast, if not faster. But I've seen a lot of players make that play of just jumping down the ledge and seeing what it is before, and then just looting back up immediately.
Yeah, I wonder if it's faster if you don't have the boots.
I didn't catch that medallion.
No, I didn't either. It looked like it had something at the edge, but they all do. Maybe we'll see it again.
Restream looked like ether to me on the restream. I could be wrong. That's quite the red mail. I didn't realize that his forehead he got the Super Saiyan hair.
Oh, that's brilliant. I love it.
So said we should get a desert play here. Looks like we are. Ooh, that was close to an auto jump off point. Fortunately, not hitting that auto jump off point though.
Yeah, I'd say whenever you spawn there and you realize I'm a bit close to this edge, and the heart rate might have gone up just a little bit.
That being said, that one not a huge time loss. You would have had to reflute and such, but minor compared to some of the ones that can happen.
A small key on the lamp means that this needs to be big key, otherwise that's then done.
Well, it's still logically boot locked regardless, and now it's just straight up boot locked. With the small key on the torch, because you can take the small key from the back and use it in the front, a small key on torch does mean that the desert is boots locked just from that. However, if desert's a crystal, you will very rarely see, if you do get the big key from that chest, you will see most runners decide to make the play to use it to go kill Landmolas and forego the items that you would get from the small key until after you get the boots.
Yeah, I mean, you have a 100% chance of your crystal being required, but not a 100% chance of needing whatever item may or may not be.
On the left, or on the right side, I mean.
Yeah.
Heck, there might not even be an item on the right side if you get the specific logic. Unfortunately, no great items to help speed up this room too much. The only ranged weapon being a hook shot doesn't help you kill Wizrobes faster. I guess we have the bow. The bow could have helped.
No, it seems like no matter what I do, that room always seems very slow. And you see the top runners just clear it in a couple of seconds, and it's like, I want to be like those guys someday. They're amazing.
Yeah, every once in a while I get a one cycle on the Wizrobes, but it's tight.
Yes, Karterfreak has finished up with his Helmasaur King fight. Is going to pick up his trusty compass, blue crystal, and more than likely make the same play as Finalflame.
Yeah, I would not be at all surprised to see the same play made.
Oh, actually, no, he won't. He's most likely going to dip into Eastern and finish that, because he has not beaten Armos Knights. And then with Silver Arrows, at least the boss fight's going to be an awful lot quicker than it would have been with just regular ones.
Yeah, and having the lamp, that room won't be an issue this time either. Eastern Palace, less of an issue to leave till later, but you have the items you need now to make it fast enough to be worthwhile just doing it.
Yeah, I can't think of a single reason why you wouldn't. I mean, he's already done.
Well, getting boots would be about the only thing that would matter, but it as I just said, it's almost irrelevant. Feels bad to have to walk around the room and light all the torches manually, but that's okay. For the single green rupee.
I think that feels worse than you get a worse feeling from picking that up than you do from having to walk around and light the torches.
So now that we found both single green rupees,
and we're going to start finding fives.
Finalflame making the slightly safer play of presetting all of the blocks before doing it. You definitely are able to do this by just presetting the first set of blocks, lighting both torches in quick succession, and then doing the second room just very quickly. You've got enough room for some margin of error, and it's a very small time loss if you don't get it, but it's also a very small time cost to just do it that way. So,
yeah, it boils down to how confident you're feeling, maybe on the day.
Yeah. So right now, Finalflame with a little bit of an overall lead on most knowledge, but of course the Ice Rod being on Catfish that Carter already has could still be a major factor in this race. Especially if we find flippers in the near future, especially for that reason, that would get if we get to go mode before, or if Karterfreak gets to go mode before Finalflame finds the Ice Rod, could be a huge problem because we could be full clearing both ice and swamp looking for the Ice Rod.
Yeah, no, that would not be good for Finalflame there. And speaking of Ice Rod, I wonder when Fire Rod's going to make an appearance.
Yeah, Fire Rod's one of the big ones there. Not required for, it's required for Skullwoods, which is a pendant, so that's not a big deal, but it's also required, of course, for Turtle Rock. That being said, it could also be in Turtle Rock.
Yep, there's absolutely no reason that you can't be forced to go to Turtle Rock before you go to Skullwoods. Or no, well, I mean, Skullwoods is a pendant, so it might not be required. You need to maybe have flippers on pedestal for that.
Yeah, flippers on pedestal is the main thing left to really troll the runners, or boots on pedestal.
And Finalflame's edging a little bit close to death, although he does have 2 fairies, I believe, so death isn't going to be costly. Yeah. It'll just be a minor inconvenience.
And I believe also a red potion if he does take a hit and decides to just use the potion as well. Block trolling him a little bit more than he would like it to. There we go.
The pixel alignment for these blocks is very, very finicky.
Sometimes I feel like I have it more to the left, and it works than times that I got it more centered, and it's like, what is even going on here?
And Karterfreak is entering Mire at the same time that Finalflame is sort of towards the end, so not even a dungeon in it.
Oh, Finalflame almost taking a hit there from the anti-fairy. Manages to avoid it for now, though.
And nearly gets dropped on the head.
That was quite the blob hit there, actually. Well, if he can get a 0 cycle, this will actually be a fairly safe fight. If he doesn't get the 0 cycle, or if one of the eyes really wants to troll him...
And it nearly did.
It's not going to be a 0 cycle, though, so we'll have to watch out for lightning. That being said, though, of course, we are going to be generally fairly safe here because we do have that fairy, so there was very low chance that the fight went bad enough that he was going to...
Yeah, it would have been a very low consequence death. It just would have been maybe a tad embarrassing, but he takes victory aside with no problem, picks up his crystal. Happy as Larry.
Yep. We'll see where the next play is. Good chances to Death Mountain. But there's lots of plays to be made at this point.
Yeah, I'm not sure where I would go, so I'd be interested to see where Finalflame decides to.
Yeah. Death Mountain is my number 1 call of where he's going, which looks to be where we're going. But aside from that, because you have things like you have the Smith chain still. You have the Smith chain. You have the pyramid and catfish check. You have all sorts of things that you can still do here.
Yeah, and he has 1 chest available to him in Turtle Rock should he decide to go in.
Well, at least 1.
Oh yes, of course that could be a key, and that would let him go on to the rest. Yeah, of course we know that he can't actually finish the dungeon, even if Fire Rod is inside, because Ice Rod is on Catfish. But I mean, if you're in the area, you're gonna go. First of all, you're definitely gonna go and have a look and see what it takes to open the medallion to see if you have it.
Yeah.
And then if you're there, you're going to have a look. Maybe you'll just go in and look for 1 chest, and if that's a key.
Yeah, there's not a lot of reason to not check it, unless you really know unless you really have a fairly good route set in mind, and you just sort of came up here to get the 6 items that you can get here very quickly. Finalflame starting the 2nd row of hearts at 1 hour, 8 minutes, and 30 seconds. And immediately going to check what the medallion is. It is Ether again?
It looked like Ether. It was very quick, though.
Yeah, it was Ether again. There's a fire rod.
I mean, with the fire rod, I'm Quake, so it didn't really matter what was on Turtle Rock. I mean, having the fire rod though, you'd say is more than likely going to head in.
Yeah, I'd say there's a pretty good chance he goes for it. Looks like he's going to go for Spike Cave though, which probably means he will not do it right now.
Yeah, maybe a little afraid or thinking, well, I've got desert and I've got Swamp Palace still, and Ice Palace as well. Although I can't access it still to go. Maybe
I must say
find my ice rod in there.
we can't get into Swamp Palace at all yet.
That second fairy in a bottle coming into play for Carter Freak, very useful.
He may be going for the blind pedestal pull actually at this point. May actually be the play that he goes for, given that we know that. We've already completed 2 pendants, and the third one just became available to us.
Yeah, and then you finish up as well right outside where you need to go for that.
Exactly. So it's very possible we're just going to see the blind pedestal pull.
I'm so excited. I hope we do. Oh, but going back to Mountain Cave.
This means nothing. That's just the refill in flute.
Oh, I almost thought he was going back to Turtle Rock there. I was excited for a minute. You took that away from me.
No, until we get boots, we're not going. Until we get boots, we're going to see Mountain Cave as our save and quit point every time. And when we get boots, we may see it. We may see a sanctuary start because that's just the closest place to King's Tomb and Bonk Rocks.
Oh, he's going to do it.
He is.
Oh, this is pedestal hype right here. Maybe. I mean, if you're going to finish Skullwood, you're going to get your third pendant. You're going to pull pedestal. Like,
yeah, there's no reason. Yeah, it doesn't matter what he gets because we know it's not the ice rod that he's going to get. There's no reason for him to not pull it. I guess the one exception would be if he gets flippers as the item. There's a little bit of let's just go do Swamp and Ice. But that being said, you want to be in go mode for Swamp and Ice, so. I would expect that, I would expect that even if we find flippers are the item in here, we're going to see a pedestal pull. And yeah, it may be Fighter Sword Mothula, but it is half magic Mothula as well.
Yeah, you feel an awful lot more confident going into Mothula with the Fighter Sword if you have half magic Fire Rod.
Interested is checking this chest first. Then again, if it's a sword upgrade, that will help still.
Yeah, and then he has the mirror as well to just head back into the start, so it's only half as expensive as it would be if he was walking.
Yeah. Just the compass, though. Just confirming that Moth has the item.
I suppose actually as well, if you do go and do Mothula play first and he doesn't have the item, you can head in. It's like 0 time cost at all, really, to go and check Mothula first, actually.
Yeah. It's basically no time. There's very little time difference between the two, regardless.
And he nearly got caught by the Wall Master there. That was a little close for my liking, certainly. I felt a bit nervous there.
Interesting he didn't try to save a little bit more magic, because he is now a little bit low on the magic. He'll get one more magic pot here. But that's all the magic he'll get for this fight.
Yep, hasn't picked up a green or blue potion in any of his bottles. 2 fairies and a red just. Although having the red potion as well means he effectively has...
That should be about 6 or 7 Fire Rod shots, I imagine. See, I wouldn't have used all my Fire Rod shots yet. I would have been trying... Oh, we're going to go for Hammer. Okay, never mind. Go ahead. If you're going to go for Hammer strats, then yeah, go ahead and use your Fire Rod shots.
But again, the left-handed hitbox of Doom for the hammer is very tricky to use against Mothula on a room where the floor is moving and it's difficult to get the setup, but Finalflame has absolutely no issues dispatching it.
Yeah, red mail and enough hearts. So here we go, folks.
Get your guesses in now. What's on the pedestal?
There's a 95% chance that we're mirroring and going to pedestal here. Well, it's not pedestal book.
A part of me was hoping.
Book broken. As soon as someone says it in chat, we immediately enter the Hammerpeg cave on the other stream. And it's a little bit of love.
Oh.
So the back of Skullwood's entirely useless. So we'll see where it's placed to, because the flipper's also still missing.
Yeah, so actually, if Karterfreak decides not to go and do Skullwoods and thinks pedestal never be required, he's actually in a stronger position right now.
Are we setting? We're setting up a well, Karterfreak doesn't still have his mushroom though, right? Let's see, I'm a little confused as to why he activated Decay and Burna there. Yeah, he does not have the mushroom. You can't fake powder without a mushroom.
He's standing there. Yep.
This is he's gonna be a little sad once he realizes he sat here for a long time. This takes forever.
And wasted all of his magic as well.
And used all of his magic, yeah. And there's the realization. Oh. The other thing is that, of course, the Karterfreak decided to. Well, I'm not sure. Maybe he's going back for the purple chest now.
Yeah, he's already done the graveyard edge check. He did that earlier on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that unfortunate mistake with the not having the mushroom or the powder meant to cost him his Dark World portal as well. So even more of a time loss than the 4 hours required to wait down the half magic. And Finalflame is bringing his Dark World portal with him. I wonder if we're going to see a check to see what is on the Bombos tablet.
I would expect so. Carter not going to be able to follow suit because he didn't bring the Dark World with him.
Yeah, I mean, neither runner is able to actually get the item off it, but the knowledge of what's there could be very useful if it's something important.
Yeah. Which, of course, does bring us to the point to point out that while we do need whichever rod each runner is missing, the boots and the flippers for go. Well, we found the boots.
Found boots.
We just can't get them.
Yeah, but that's really, really useful knowledge to have. So effectively, as soon as you get a sword upgrade, Finalflame will have the boots. He knows they're there. He can go and get them at his leisure. It's great knowledge, but what he doesn't have is the ice rod, which is what Karterfreak has.
So what's the next play? Is it the Turtle Rock dip? How much more is in logic at this point? Like, do you have to? Is this a logically required Turtle Rock dip?
I think it might be. I can't really think of anywhere where the runners.
Because obviously we could go to Ice Palace, but that's not logically placed.
Yeah, that would take a fake flipper to get into. Although I would be tempted.
I would be tempted as well. I would probably Well, it depends. I like both plays. Of course, Karterfreak I expect to make the Turtle Rock dip because he's going to have everything he needs to clear it. If I'm not, the Fire Rod was up here, right? It was in Hookshot Cave. I'm not being crazy.
Yes, the Fire Rod is in Hookshot Cave.
Okay, good. Finalflame is going to make the Pyramid and Catfish check, so we are going to see both players in Turtle Rock at the same time, I would bet here. Karterfreak, of course, is going to be a little bit ahead in terms of the timing on it, but I expect that we'll see Karterfreak make the play because there's no reason not to while he's here.
Yeah, and then
Finalflame, getting the Ice Rod, he has no reason to also not go do Turtle Rock, because that's the only crystal that, well, that's the, might even be the only location in Logic, as I've already sort of said there.
Yeah, it's also, he may consider fake flippering into Ice Palace, because he knows the flippers are not going to be there because they're required by the Logic, so you can go mode Ice Palace now. Which might lead a sword upgrade or something that's, well, really the only thing that would be really super useful in there would be a sword upgrade.
That's true, you could do that, but the thing is that you're still sort of, want to find, you still need to look for sword to some degree, so you only want to skip so many locations.
Yeah, you're going to have to go there eventually, I suppose, wherever you end up, which is looking very likely to be Turtle Rock at this stage.
And knowing that you need flippers for Swamp Palace, that's the other big thing. If we didn't require it, it'd be less of an issue, but we know that we require it. He's going to release the fairy to get 3 blue potions.
Yeah, with having so many hearts and having red mail, there's not much left in the world that could give you a surprise death. So you're going to see death coming. So you've got plenty of time to use the blue potions. Unlike a fairy, where if you get...
Although I think he only filled up 2 of his bottles, which is interesting. Although, as I say, we're going to see both runners in Turtle Rock at the same time. We instead see Karterfreak flute away and come to pick up more potions. We'll see where he's going from here. Because he could make the Skullwoods play as well. Nope. Looks like he's going back to Death Mountain.
He has taken a couple of deaths, Karterfreak, so maybe he's just feeling slightly off his confidence a little bit and just wants the extra security of some potions.
Yeah, and not having powder, he doesn't get the advantage of getting all the fairies in the world in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, I mean, it's a perfectly understandable play from Karterfreak. I mean, you can't really hold that against him. Everyone's had a very low confidence day where nothing seems to be going your way and you get hit by everything, and it's just that bit of safety can
oh, right. He didn't even have magic. That's the biggest problem. You actually need magic to get into Turtle Rock, because he did the... So he sort of needed that potion just for the sake of actually getting access to Turtle Rock.
Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. That's a much better explanation.
Yeah, I feel like he probably should have just used it right there and then bought another blue potion, but that's a very minor problem.
And Finalflame, you better be getting ready to be bitterly disappointed here.
And no, it's not going to be Vanilla Flipper. We already saw this. It's... What was it?
10 bombs. 10 bombs.
10 bombs, right. It's the Uncle Drop. The Uncle Drop of bombs.
And here comes the Turtle Rock play from Karterfreak. And it looks like Finalflame is heading up to do the same play. It'll be probably, I would think, feeling a little bit behind at this point. Not having had the Ice Rod when he was up here earlier.
Interesting that he's taking the north path here. It's not invalid by any means, but it is typically considered to be a little bit slower. Especially without the boots.
And he has done Spike Cave. I think both runners have done Spike Cave.
Yeah, both runners got
do you know what? He'll be checking the basement of Hera on the way up.
Interesting that Karterfreak... Oh, no, okay, that's not him leaving. Good. I'm like, why would he be leaving? I'm like, wait a second. That's just mirroring out of the roller room.
Yeah, this is actually... Oh, and he's going to check the tablet as well. This is actually very smart play from Finalflame, I think.
That's why he came up this way. Yes, and yeah, very. Although, not
There's the hair basement as well, which he can access now that he has a fire source.
Is he doing it? He's not.
No.
Which he's going to be very happy about in a couple moments, because he's going to find the flippers and be in go mode. Well, sorry, actually, it won't be go mode yet, because he still needs a sword.
Almost go mode.
Because we definitively need a sword, not even sometime before Ganon, but sometime before we can even get to go mode, because we need it for boots.
Yeah, so I guess there's going to be an awful lot of swords in Turtle Rock, Swamp Palace, and Ice Palace combined. Well, you'd hope so anyway. There'd be at least one.
Yeah, you never know. We haven't seen a waterfall cave. Did we see waterfall cave?
No, we haven't.
Ever fake flipper it?
The runners just picked up. They didn't have the Moon Pearl whenever they were in the area to do fake flipper, so we haven't seen it yet.
That's what I thought, but we did see the hobo at some point, right?
I don't recall. I don't think so.
Anyways, but no, not swordless go mode. It's not quite the same as situations where we could do everything except for beat Ganon without the sword. It is strictly we need a sword upgrade to get the boots off of the Bombos tablets. So a sword is very specifically part of our go mode right now.
Yeah, you can't take the Ganon's Tower gamble and just hope you're going to find one there. And after nearly an hour and a half, Finalflame gets his first shield. So at this point, Karterfreak is a little ahead in terms of how much stuff he has completed than Finalflame, but Finalflame has the knowledge of where the boots are, which are required.
Yeah, I was about to say, I definitely can't give an edge to Karterfreak at this point, aside from just this small time he is ahead, because Finalflame still has more overall completed aside from the progress in this dungeon. So it has less things that will sidetrack him now as well.
Yeah, and then if he finds himself a sword in here, he's not going to be looking for boots, whereas Karterfreak, even if he finds a sword, he doesn't know where the boots are, so he's going to have to keep checking locations.
Yeah. Piece of heart. Oh no! Didn't end up pushing before he... Chainsaw was speeding up a little bit.
Yeah, thankfully he has red mail. Dramatically lessens the effect that they have on you, but they still hit for a ton of damage.
And of course, the fun of having to use bombs for this door.
There's a little bit of irony here that you have the keys that you need to go mode TR, but you can't.
The other thing I'm forgetting, did Karterfreak make a... Which play did both players, or which player made the Desert Palace tip? I think there was only one.
The Bombos tablet check, you mean?
No, I mean the Desert Palace. Which one knows the boots is required? Does only one runner know the boots is required, or do both runners know the boots are required?
Oh, I can't remember. I'm fairly sure Karterfreak did make the check.
Okay, the chat says they both know. Okay, that's good. I couldn't remember for sure because I had this weird feeling that one of them didn't check.
Well, thank you, chat, for helping out.
Mimic's doing their best to troll Finalflame there. Finding the red shield. As useful as that may or may not be.
So probably going to see some hammer strats against the ice and fireheads here, because only having the plastic sword or the fighter sword is not particularly strong.
Yeah, spins are by no means a good way to do this fight. And karterfreak realizing that he really shouldn't be using that. He's just going to wait for the head to unfreeze. He's going to use a spin. I think this could spell a lot of problems for karterfreak.
Yeah, does he have enough magic to keep doing this?
I don't believe he does. Not even, especially not with the misses, but only getting, like, I'm not sure how many Master Sword swipes it takes to take out a Trinex head. I think we're talking in the realm of 10 to 12 Master Sword swipes, which would be the same as the spins that would be required.
Yeah, because it takes, 5 Tempered Sword hits?
Yeah.
Oh, he has a blue potion.
Yeah, but that's not going to change that he doesn't have enough magic. Until he starts using hammer. Fortunately, he has what he needs to do to be able... He has enough items to go and leave and do Ice Palace and Swamp Palace. So unless Trinex has the only accessible sword somehow right now, like unless both the other swords are locked in Ganon's Tower and the only accessible sword is on Trinex, which I'm not even sure if that's possible because I haven't been counting items in TR in the first place. Oh no, okay. There is an item.
It is possible, yeah. There is an item here. Trinex has got an. Oh, he's switching to hammer. I think he's finally realized.
Might be a little bit too late, unfortunately, but we'll see how this goes.
No, I think he's going to be okay if he doesn't miss too many hits. I think he's going to be okay.
I'm more worried about the health than the magic right now. Definitely very easy to take a hit either on the ice or just by walking into Trinex.
Yeah,
but I did get it down.
Yeah, this becomes tricky now because you want to avoid that ice patch at all costs while trying to take him down.
Okay, thank you, Kirby Damasta, for just confirming that. Well, so Trinex can have a sword, I imagine, just can't be the logically second. It can't be only the second sword. I imagine is what we sort of mean there.
That was a close fight. That was a lot closer than it should have been.
And giving Finalflame a lot of time to catch up here as well.
Yeah, both runners in the Trinex room at the same time. And Finalflame not far behind. He's one head down. The firehead's gone, and he doesn't have ice on the floor. And he's just deciding to use Fire Rod.
Can't blame him. He didn't. The problem is the Fire Rod does not reset the timer when you hit him with more Fire Rod shots. You also need to heal. You have potions. Use them. Do not die because you're just not saving potions. Please, Finalflame.
Oh, and he let go of his fairy as well. This is risky. You've got a red potion. Just use the red potion.
I don't believe he has a red anymore, but he has blues.
And he has used it. No point dying being the hero.
No, definitely, especially not on Hammer Trinex. You don't want to do Hammer Trinex again, even with half magic. Like, it's one thing if you can get, when you have the sword and you can do the quick kill and such. Anyways, Waterfall Cave having nothing.
Got to be Swamp then.
Well, it could still be Ice Palace.
Oh yeah, I forgot we haven't done Ice Palace yet. Ugh. Obviously I'm not a fan of Ice Palace. Although at least they have the hook shot going in here, which is going to make it a lot simpler.
we'll see if either runner regrets not sequence breaking into Ice Palace before they got flippers as we go here. Finalflame realizing that he probably wants to do Ice Palace.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, or at least he wants to do Waterfall Cave, because Swamp Palace is arguably just as good, if not a better play, because Swamp Palace has twice the item density that Ice Palace does. Nice Bombos play there. You do have the hook shot as well, the hook shot being able to kill the penguins in one shot each as well. But Bombos a very strong option to just, use it and get rid of everything that's in the room.
Yeah, it's a guaranteed time as well. So I mean, it might be technically a little longer than the absolute shortest time you could do with other weapons. It's it's going to take you X amount of time, and it's going to cost you 0 hearts.
Yeah. Nice bomb carry by karterfreak there, managing to dodge the jelly. Just saving himself a couple seconds there just from planting the bomb sooner. The Finalflame is flitted away from Hobo to come back here faster to get to the Waterfall Cave check. Now we will see if we are going to get the Ice Palace play still, because he may decide to do Swamp first, as mentioned before, because it is sort of the higher density play. And I would expect that's what we're getting with the flute here. Indeed it is.
Yeah, it looks like it. This is interesting. Yeah, both runners were at reasonably similar locations, and now we're seeing a bit of divergence. I love it.
So we're going to find out if one play is better than the other or not. karterfreak, of course, still not having checked the Bombos tablet, is at a little bit of a disadvantage, as he will likely full clear regardless of if and when he finds a sword. Whereas Finalflame knows that a sword is go mode at this point. That being said, depending on how confident the runners are with Master Sword strats on Ganon, they may still continue to open chests, especially chests that are on the way. Try to look for a further sword upgrade.
And there's always the 22 chest big key troll to give you 21 different locations to find another sword upgrade once the runners get to Ganon's tower.
That's also true. And
very
then,
nice bomb jump, actually, from Carter there. Sorry, I just had to draw attention to that. That was a very quickly executed bomb jump. I liked it.
Yeah, a lot of setups for that bomb jump. You can basically just test whatever you want until you find one that you like, because there are a lot of ways to set up that bomb jump. Of course, if you prefer to not take the risk of falling down, you can always go upstairs and take the north door in the spike room and just fall down through the collapsing floor there. We'll do the same thing. But not quite as quick, of course, or as swaggy as the bomb jump.
And a 5-hour upgrade there from our first chest in Swamp Palace.
I am also interested if Finalflame does not find a sword here, if he does do Pyramid Fairy before he does the Ice Palace play.
Yeah, you can understand the reasoning behind doing something like that, because I mean you could get go mode then, and you're already there. I mean, you're really close to getting the bomb. It'll take a minute.
Yeah. So I would expect it likely that's what we're going to see, but we will see, of course, once we actually full clear these dungeons and see what's where. There's a Master Sword. So that's a no mode. With Sword being in so many places, we've got 2 more locations we could find for no mode for Finalflame's go mode.
Yeah, although karterfreak then not knowing that the Bombos tablet has his boots. So could do Skullwoods and decide to, or Skullwood Swamp Palace and go for the full clear.
Yeah, likely won't skip Bombos tablet past that, so he shouldn't be too far. he won't lose too much time overall here, but we'll see how much time he does lose. Finalflame is going for the full-on strat, which I don't blame him for. I would do this when you're one item from go mode as well.
Yeah, and we know he's going to find that item when he goes to Ice Palace, so we know it's not going to hurt him.
Well, he might still come back and do left side as well. That's a completely different question. But starting this way, especially when you don't have the big key yet, when the big key could be on Argus, you don't want to have to not triple dip, but backtrack from the left side just because the big key was on Argus. Well, actually, I guess it would, yeah. Whatever we want to call that. Sort of awkward. Just a lot more travel time.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Lots of magic flying there for Carter. Got the puffs down real fast.
Yeah, they separated a little bit, but then they all ended up in the same corner. And there's
final
a sword.
Skull mode.
Oh wow!
Now that's huge because Carter will almost definitely get that sword as well. Finalflame, on the other hand, will likely not get the sword on the right side of Ice Palace unless he decides to also full clear Ice Palace.
Which would it be like? I would say that would be unlikely.
I would not expect Finalflame to go to right side of Ice Palace. He might check chest. I don't expect him to go to right side.
I love how it's like impossible to call out who has the lead here. They're sort of flip-flopping forwards and backwards with who appears to be in the lead, and then something happens and it completely changes the game. It's a really, really good race. Karterfreak fluting back, and it's going to make his Swamp Palace play.
We'll see if he does decide to bother checking Bombo's talent before, if he leaves it till after, or if we, of course, get the unfortunate chance of he just doesn't even think of checking it right now. Finalflame getting a shovel as well from Argus.
a bit useless at this stage of the game.
Yeah, I don't expect he'll be checking that, but you never know. If he is going to do the big bomb, he could decide to do shovel first as well. Of course, right now, we're just going to pick up the Bombo's tablet super fast.
Then I guess go in and do desert while you're in the area?
That's less of a call, because you probably have to flute to desert as well. But he very well could. So I don't think you want to go in. You don't really want to go in the front door here. You still want to take the Dark World entrance. Maybe he is going to go in the front door, though. Looks like he is. I'm not sure exactly what the time difference will be on this, but it's fair either way.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking a couple seconds maybe if they're...
We also don't know...
There's a difference either way.
We also don't have any items in here yet. I think it was the compass or map in the chest that we did have access to as well. So we don't know what we're going to find in desert as well.
Yeah, it could be the final sword upgrade.
I'm surprised that wasn't a bonk on the door frame, but it wasn't.
And chat's informing us that it was the map that was in the chest that was checked in desert.
There is the third. There's the last sword upgrade. So just immediately cancel out that advantage that Finalflame's going to have. Finalflame, on the other hand, will get Butter Sword, so there will still be a sword advantage, but the difference being such a small difference.
Yeah, it's a lot smaller than the difference between Master Sword and Tempered Sword.
The
and
bigger
after
difference,
spending the whole game with Fighter Sword, like...
Yeah, the bigger difference is going to be how quickly Karterfreak can do the Argus fight due to having Tempered Sword for it. Even that's not a huge, it's not a massive difference, but it is some time save that he will get for that. Of course, Final will have Tempered for Cold Stare, less of an issue, especially since Fire Rod strats were used so heavily anyways.
Yeah, Fire Rod's a fairly reliable Cold Stare killer with half magic.
But Carter is going to go left side, which is going to hurt him a little bit here.
Yeah, we know there's nothing really, there can't really be anything that's required for go mode over here because we know where everything is.
Yeah, and there'd be very little of use over here. Powder would be the main thing, I believe. That could still be of some interest.
A shield isn't going to help you really. Cape, I mean, you already have the Cane of Burner, you've got Red Mail and 12 Hearts.
The powder is the only significant one thing that you would find. There, as you said, there's some incremental things that you could sort of find there. The Mirror Shield wouldn't be awful. It would help you with the mimics a little bit, so on and so forth. But
and the Mirror Shield is going to be inside Spectacle Rock because there was a shield upgrade there earlier on in the game.
That's right. You're right. Yep.
So that even that's off the cards.
Yep. Having a little bit of problem with hitting the Lenmolas. I would just be spin slashing them at this point. Just hit them with the sword. Or smack them with a silver arrow. That works too.
Just do some kind of damage to them.
Just kill them. Just kill them.
Oh, it takes them down eventually though. And picks up a crystal for his troubles.
Yeah, you always want to remember that, of course, just using tempered slashes is only 4 hits to kill a Lenmola, and spins, of course, do better sword damage. Only take 2 to kill as well. So you can always go like spin Fire Rod shot or something like that as well, just to get more guaranteed damage. But obviously, the fight's done. You use whatever damage you want because there's lots of ways to kill Lenmolas. Yeah, so at this point, Finalflame having a fairly significant advantage, having to only complete Ice Palace left, and already having all the items he needs to be in go mode. Whereas, as we've been talking about, karterfreak still needs to locate the boots, as well as he still has to, of course, do Desert Palace.
Yeah, and then he not knowing where those boots were caused him to take the longer route in Swamp Palace too, so that hurt him there as well, indirectly. And there were the two desert or dungeon items in there, the compass and the map, wasn't it, in the one room there?
Yep.
For karterfreaks, that's not great. Tempered sword, he's going to be happy he has tempered sword.
Karterfreak charging into the Argus fight. Not really charging that fast because he doesn't have boots, but...
Very good. He's going as fast as his little red guard legs will carry him.
And just as this one finishes up, Finalflame will be dropping down into the Cold Stare fight.
So now we just have to hope the karterfreak makes the Bombos tablet play.
Yeah, we want this to be close, so we really want to see him make that play, and this will come down to a bit of an execution battle. Well,
he's not. Oh, maybe he is.
No, I don't think so. And if he already tried to flute there, so he's not going to be staying.
Oh no. I mean, he's going to realize soon enough, but that's really, really damaging.
Yeah.
And just after that, Finalflame has beaten Coaster, so he is now going to be heading on his way up to Ganon's Tower.
And of course, on that note, we are going to start the guessing game, everyone's favorite guessing game of where is the big key in Ganon's Tower? It can be in any one of 22 locations. Get your numbered guesses in now.
And chat wasting absolutely no time and spamming with numbers there.
Yeah. Yeah, Carter's going to be a little sad once he gets to the big key door and realizes he can't go through it.
No, it's very, very easy to do, with the dungeon being split with the rear section so easily available. It's something I do all the time is come in here and I'm like, then you realize, and the rage is, it's very difficult to describe the kind of rage that you get from doing a Desert Palace rear without having a big key and then realizing at the last possible moment. We're going to see it now.
And there it is.
Oh.
And so that was the reason, of course, why we didn't get him checking the Bombos tablet, because he wasn't thinking about Bombos tablets. So we're going to get a shovel check. No, we are getting... Okay, good. We are going into the Dark World. No, we might get shovel check first, for all we know. Actually, we might also get Pyramid Fairy play first, is actually likely what we're going to get first here. Oh, no.
Oh, going down. Oh.
Okay, we're making the right play. We are going to be just fine. We are going to be just fine. We are getting the boots. We are going into go mode. And we're going to be going back to desert and doing the back for a second time.
Last second to get your guesses in for the big key. And apologies for talking over you there, Spiffers.
No, it's fine. And in we are to the tower. Find a key. We are doing right side.
And there seem to be a mix of runners actually who decide whether or not to do right side based on whether or not they find one or two keys. Because if you find only one key in that room and then you find the big key without finding another small key, you're going to need another one at some stage. And not as much of a guarantee that you'll find it. Whereas if you go left side, if you find a single key, you're much more likely to find another one to progress up the tower if you find the big key.
Well, to be fair, you can get another small key from here. You just have to go through the warp. Heck, if you do this gamble, you should be going through the warp here and getting this last small key. Because you don't want to have to do the right side again to get the small key if the small key layout is not good.
Right side not paying off anyway, so all our meta discussions are laid to rest.
Meanwhile, on Torch, so the free call that I think I saw immediately was probably hoping for that, but unfortunately went right side. So anyone who said 7 is gonna have the win.
And the winner goes to Dylan Hinckley. Well done. Congratulations. You correctly guessed the big key location first.
Okay, some nice kills there.
Yeah, just having a little bit of trouble there. And a much cleaner Lamola's fight from karterfreak there than Finalflame's.
Getting a nice jump off so you can just dash the bridge without any worries strat. When you get those iframes, so long enough to dash the entire bridge without the cannonballs being able to hit you.
Definitely a good feeling just being able to run straight through that and not be worrying.
Not bothering picking up that full magic. Not that it really matters. You should have lots of magic for most of what you're doing. Linmolas 2 being the only real other magic drainer, if you even use magic on them. If you use the silvers on them, wouldn't be an issue. Also just going to use a blue potion.
Yeah, I mean, if he wants safeties, I think there are a couple of fairies, aren't there, on the way up if he really wanted them. But
well, he already passed the one. The only other one, the only other real one is this room if you have powder. And we don't have powder, so that's not really an option. Might get the comebacker. Nope, couldn't get the second arrow to land. Just not having the greatest time with his Landmolas here.
No,
all of them not quite doing what he wants.
No, and that fireball turret in the lower left-hand corner can be quite irritating in this fight. Second time through, you can have perfect positioning and then a fireball's coming towards you and can just upset you at the wrong moment, but takes them down eventually.
We'll see how Carter routes his tower here. He is going to go the right side for at least the first two chests. We'll see if he does the same routing as Finalflame or opts to go just left side here. Well, that's a gamble and a half. That is a gamble and a half, and it paid off as long as he doesn't leave before he picks up a small key, which he did not.
Okay, so making up a little bit of time. Both runners in Ganon's tower at the same time. Finalflame is significantly ahead at this point, but it's not beyond the realms of possibility. You take a bad fall to Ganon accidentally by one of the fire bats. Things can happen. I would not count karterfreak out yet at all.
Yeah, we are definitely close enough that it's not going to take a miracle for karterfreak to get back into this.
No, and that's what we want to see. We want to see good, healthy competition, a good, clean race.
Not going for the spin for the second hit here, but that's not really an issue. As long as he doesn't fall, which he somehow got the dash off in time there. Missed the chest by just a little bit.
Yeah, it's always a bit of fun trying to guess that.
Ooh, just stepped onto the horizontal. Ooh, and that I didn't think he was hitting by the bumpers there.
No, that was very, very close. That must have been a pixel.
unfortunately still missed just a little bit, so he's getting attacked by the army of mini Helmosaurs.
Yeah, once they start getting you and knocking you about in the ice, it's very, very tricky to get in the door. Although I did have one damage boost me into the door the other day. I was very pleased.
And the spin didn't last long enough for the triple hit.
It was a little awkward there in the second one, sort of surrounding him a bit.
There we go, got it down.
Okay, so Finalflame has beaten Agatu just as karterfreak is headed into the Lamolus 2 fight.
That one cycle.
Oh, that was quick. That was quick. Oh, well done. That was great. It's an education right there. So just crossing the 2-hour mark as Finalflame heads into the Ganon fight. And every time Ganon tells me about how I should get all my grains from whole grains, I want toast.
Yep. Don't try to spin. You can't get spins. He's trying to spin. There we go. Just slash him. Just slash him.
Go to town. Oh, cancelled his burner though. Down to 1 heart. Thankfully, he does have a fairy, but that was very, very close to using that emergency fairy there. These firebats tying with Motula for my least favorite enemies of the game.
And that should be enough hits to get him into phase 3. I believe he got the hit there. I saw damage flickers. Yeah, so yeah, the floor's going. Of course he did.
Yeah, took probably more damage than he'd like to.
He's just trying to keep us on the edge of our seats here, because if he does take a death, this race is really close.
Yeah, and I am absolutely on the edge of my seat here watching this. This is nerve-wracking stuff.
Is he gonna get the torch glitch as well? Looks like it. That would be a good triple if he can get there. Didn't quite get there though.
Oh, wow, that's... Oh.
And that should be good for a double. It is. It is good for a double.
Go. Edge of your seat stuff there. Finishing the game with 1 heart remaining.
Yeah, and as Finalflame does end up walking through the door with a official SRTV time of 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 49 seconds. Welp, that just happened.
Very fitting.
It seems quite accurate.
Yeah, then karterfreak is just in his Agatu fight, so actually it ended up not being too far behind at all, despite not going for the boots. It was definitely close.
Yeah, real close game. Difference of about 3 minutes once all is said and done here, probably. Might not even be 3 minutes.
Yeah, it was a fantastic race as well. The runners being close and sort of leapfrogging each other at various points. You never really could tell who was ahead until the very, very end of the game.
Yeah, and
lovely to watch.
Carter's really going to be not going to enjoy the fact that with just that mistake of trying to go straight to the back of Desert.
Yeah, because I mean that and the boots knowledge is a little bit really did cost him, because he seems to have made up a lot of time in Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, for sure. And the Buttersword probably being a little bit of that. Anyways, as we are joined by Finalflame here, GG.
Thank you. I don't know how I pulled that off. I've got to ask,
know.
what has held Carter up? Because I thought for sure he had it.
Well, you two made a lot of the same routing. This would have been darn near a tie if he didn't make one very critical routing mistake right at the end, which was after he finished Swamp Palace. So you guys did ice, and you guys basically you guys were in Turtle Rock at the same time. You made a play at the opposite dungeons. He found a sword in the right side of Ice Palace as well.
Oh. So about swords, I'm a little ticked at myself because I told myself when I was in Desert I was going to steal the key and it would have gotten me an early Master Sword. And I balked at it.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that's true. Well, you would have had a Master Sword if you'd just taken the key.
I don't think it cost me too much time, though.
No, it probably cost you very little in the long run. I'm not even sure. But it made your Argus slower. Is there anything else of real note that it did?
Just tilted me when I found it.
Yeah. Anyways, Karterfreak's just finishing up here. Karterfreak finishing with an official time of 2:05:32. We'll see if I'm sure he'll jump right in fairly quickly here. He just needs to undeafen. GG, Karterfreak.
Yeah, congratulations, man. Well done.
Yeah, good game. I was so sad when I finally found the lantern. I was like, I should have checked Palace of Darkness so much sooner.
I knew it was probably going to be there.
Well,
And,
so the big difference, of course, though, Carter, do you want to tell them about your big routing mistake at the end there that probably cost you a lot?
Something about forgetting that I didn't have the big key going into Desert Palace.
Spot on.
So he didn't have the boots yet. So he mirrored out of Swamp Palace, which was his 6th crystal, fluted to 6, did the Dark World path, went to the door, got the message that he doesn't have the big key yet, and then immediately made the right play of going to the Bombos tablet. But that is probably pretty close to the 3-minute difference in your race as well.
yeah, I thought early on, when I blind pulled the pad, I'm like, okay, I'm screwed. At least I'll go out on top of the fans.
Oh, they were absolutely loving the pedestal hype there. I can tell you, I was going wild.
I figured at this point, I've gotten 2 pendants. It's led me to absolutely nothing. I may as well double down and hope for the best. And I don't think we had to step foot in a pendant dungeon this season.
I think the only reason that Carter didn't make the same play was because Carter already the Ice Rod when he was up in the Turtle Rock area, like when he did this Dark Death Mountain check. So, of course, he was out of magic. That was a different issue.
Let's not talk about that one. That was me thinking I had mushrooms.
That's right. I ran out of bombs in pod. Unfortunately, I decided to check the chests before going to buy some. Or not the chests, the pots, and found a bunch. I've never run out of bombs there before.
Yeah, the bombs were kind of trolling you a little bit, Final Flame. You were doing an awful lot of farming at the start in sewers to try and find
bombs. And that's just my last race, or my first race was the same kind of start, I think, with Burna, but couldn't find a bomb. And so this time I'm like, I'll look for a bomb in case it trolls me and both gloves are in back of the skate, and I got nothing. And then the bush crab was loaded.
I laughed even more because you realize what your first enemy, because you killed the green chew or whatever the pickles are called, and it had a bomb drop for you. It's like the first enemy you killed after Sanctuary had a bomb drop for you.
Oh, of course.
And we're like, okay, well that's just mean. Like, it's not as mean as putting one of the rats once you go up the stairs and can't go back, but it's a close second.
It's
That's
kind
just
of
the game
highlights
telling you that bombs are evil, pretty much.
I mean, it's kind of almost typical of how this race played out, because Final Flame, you went through sewers and you didn't get a bomb. You got bombs afterwards. You got the Hoarder. It had loads of bombs. Whereas Carter, you managed to get a bomb in sewers, but then you went to Kakariko and you didn't check the Hoarders in the way, and you didn't have enough bombs there. So you're sort of leapfrogging each other in terms of who did and who didn't.
I was hoping I would find some extra, early on, I was hoping I'd find some bombs in Blind's hideout, or the Thief's hideout.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what has genuinely confused me. That Eastern Palace Dark Room, I don't know why I couldn't get to the door. I'm even looking at a map now. I couldn't tell you what was blocking me.
Well, I assume you were on the top wall and you weren't picking up the pot. It would be the only thing I would assume.
I was spamming my button to pick it up.
Well, I know,
Up
but it's
to the left.
if you're on the top wall and facing left, you can't pick up the pot. You have to be slightly down from the wall.
Oh, that probably is it.
Speaking of dark rooms, I really need to learn that second dark room section in Eastern Palace. I tried for it and it didn't work out too well.
Yeah, that one's not too bad. This is only the second time I've done it. But obviously I kind of screwed it up. I had to leave twice and grab a fairy so he didn't die.
Well, Carter died in it, so he knows your pain.
Ooh.
Yep.
But that being said, when you already have mirror and know that, and actually don't know if Carter 100% knew that pod was already on the table at that point, because I think final you were the one that did the map check on your way to Hera, right?
No, I did mine. I did mine when I was in CAC. Oh no, the Dark World. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm like one of you did a map check on the way to Tower of Hera.
I think that might have been me. I was mostly looking to see if I could find something overworld before I jumped into Palace of Darkness because I was really nervous about not having lamp going in there.
I felt bad about putting pot off as long as I did. I did Thieves in the first part of Skull Woods first and got nothing. I mean, I've done some of the Dark Rooms in Pod. I felt that I could probably get through maybe the maze, but just not get to Helma's Arcane. But at that point, it felt like Pod had to have something of value.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the time I found that out, I had pretty much looked everywhere else. So that's a little unfortunate, but
Yeah,
It's
well, I mean,
randomized.
it actually worked out quite well because at this, almost the same time that Final was picking up the lamp in Pod, you were picking up the ice rod from Catfish.
it ended up working.
Yeah, that
out.
one trolled me a little bit.
Yeah, we were glad when we saw you go back to Light World and just do those checks, because you were sort of locked out, because I think you were probably ready to do the Turtle Rock dip, and you're like, let's just do these 2 overworld checks first.
Yeah, I was really thinking about Turtle Rock, and at that point I was getting ready to make the play, but I wanted to check a few things first in case.
Well, and I feel like you were down to like that being your last location at that point. Like I think Turtle Rock was all you had left at that point.
Pretty much. I was considering things like fake flippering.
Well, yeah,
but,
I was about to say fake flipper Ice Palace would have been the one
also
you could have made.
The other place that was on my mind at that point was the Hera basement, and I almost stopped in there on my way to Turtle Rock and decided, no, it's probably got to be flippers in Turtle Rock. If I don't find him there, then I'll do Hera basement.
Yeah,
we were speculating when we saw you heading up the western side of Death Mountain if you were going to head in there.
Yeah, it was strong on my mind. My main focus at that point, though, was just the Ether tablet.
Yeah. No, it's definitely well read by both of you. Any other thoughts on the seed?
Late boots suck. That's all I got.
Honestly, I was fine with late boots as long as they were late for both of us. My boots sucks.
Yeah, at least it's better than the last time. Last time I had run, I found the boots an hour and 30 minutes in, where my opponent had found them 30 minutes in. So
Ooh,
that was
that one hurts.
Yeah.
And you know, as Final was saying before you came in here, Carter, you theoretically could have had the boots sooner, because you could have gotten the Desert Palace sword by jailbreaking the back key.
Yep.
Yeah, and I was going to do it, and I balked at the last second. Which I guess wasn't too big of an issue.
No, that's about the only thing it would have. That actually, now that I've said that, that would have been the biggest time save you would have gotten. Is that when you, instead of checking Bombo's tablet, you would have just had Bombo's tablet out of the way already and had boots for the rest of the seed.
True.
Yeah, if we had found boots sooner, I think that would have went way different.
Now, Carter, did you check Bombo's tablet and we just forgot, or did you just go there first and it was the right play?
That was just the first place I went to. I was going to check all the tablets. I just decided to check the closest one first.
The only reason I asked is I was a little surprised that you didn't check the shovel spot first after getting the shovel off Argus, but...
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. I decided that I was just going to check tablets because like I got the sword upgrade. I figured, what the heck? There's tablets that are pretty close. I might as well check that one because it was like right by where Desert Palace was.
Yeah.
I just ended up lucking out.
Whatever works. Anyways, yeah.
It was really fun.
We'll give our final GGs here.
GG, Finalflame.
GG.
Well done, guys, and congratulations, Finalflame.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
of course, we'll if everyone did enjoy this race and these two runners, do consider giving karterfreak and Finalflame a follow there. Also, if you're enjoying the tournament in general, do consider following Speed Gaming through Speed Gaming 6, which is hosting a lot of these races, as well as many other speedrunning events, and ALTTP Randomizer through ALTTP Randomizer 4, which is hosting mostly this tournament right now. And there's lots and lots of races going on all the time.
Oh yeah, like any time of day, you can tune in and there's going to be races going on. There's so much content here. It's absolutely fantastic. The amount of runners that are going here, it's brilliant to watch. You can always get a good bit of randomizer on the go.
For sure. And then, of course, thank you very much, Spiral, for commentating with me.
Oh, and thank you very much, Spiffers, for being like the best commentator.
Well, you're welcome. And thank you, Jixon, for being our tracker and keeping track of all those items so that we don't have to do it in our heads instead. With that, everyone have a fantastic afternoon.